paying for the mail. Most of us get our bills and packages for free.
But in some communities, neighbors have to pay the post office so they can pay their bills.
Yeah, Teen's Casey Geraldo discovered these people don't get a choice, sometimes even when they have disabilities.
The Postal Service website says it reaches every address in the nation. But in Kewaskum, that's not the case. Our Call for Action office heard from multiple people with disabilities who can hardly access mailboxes, even though they're forced to pay for them.
The city government, the IRS, your tax returns, everything comes through the mail. So how do you just not get mail?
It's the question Michelle Harrington faced after moving into this house with her husband and in-laws who have disabilities.
We tried to figure out where the mailbox was.
They didn't have one, and she says she had a hard time figuring out why.
Clay is a Marine vet, so you fight for the freedom to, buy a house and live on a street in Kewaskum, and you can't get your mail without paying for it, and you're barely making ends meet.
She called the village. She called the Postal Service.
The city is saying that the post office needs to tell them where they're going to put it, and then they will approve it or deny it. And the post office is telling me that they won't let them put it up.
After proving their disabilities, many conversations, and the work of our Call for Action office. This direct delivery mailbox went up for Bevan Clay Harrington a year after Harrington started her quest.
At least they can get their mail, so I don't have to be so concerned as far as medications that come in the mail.
But Harrington isn't letting this go.
So if you couldn't pay for the box, how would you get your mail?
We would not get mail.
Here's the problem. Kewaskum ordinance banned standalone mailboxes in the early 2000s, but neighbors can have cluster mailboxes on side streets. Unfortunately, all the slots near the Harringtons are full. USPS offers a P.O. box for free to people living within a quarter mile of the post office. Technically, the Harringtons live inside that radius, but the Postal Service excludes their street. With all those obstacles and without disabilities of their own, Harrington and her husband can't get their mail delivered, and she says she can't get answers either.
No matter how many times I've tried, I really don't know where to start.
We requested interviews with the Kewaskum postmaster and offered to drive to Illinois to speak with someone in the Postal Service office there. Both requests were denied. Kewaskum's administrator, who Harrington has tried working with, wouldn't talk to us either, but the board president would.
On the village side, you're saying maybe we could do that, but the post office has to agree. The post office is saying, well, maybe we could do that, but the village has this ordinance.
If we clear the way, then that person still needs to ask the post office to commit to delivery. And I'll be honest with you, the federal agency could still say no.
In an email, the Postal Service says it is considering giving Main Street neighbors no-fee boxes. It didn't answer our specific questions, but said customers should contact the post office directly with concerns. Maria Kovacevic, another Kewaskum neighbor with a disability, says she did just that.
They said that they saw me there with other people that can come here and get it. And if I had someone else that comes there, or anyone that lives in my house that can come there, they are supposed to do it.
You felt discouraged?
Yeah.
Just from asking them about it?
Just from talking about it, yes. I felt like, oh my goodness, am I wasting my time?
The answer to Kovacevic's question is still unclear. She tells me since she requested the paperwork, the post office has dropped off mail occasionally at her door. We gave both women information about the process to have the village approve boxes closer to their homes, and they plan to submit those soon. A Postal Service representative tells me it's speculation whether the village approves the boxes, so they can't say if they would approve delivery. But what they will do is work with local governments on delivery operations.